If you were to say to a man, like, when is the time to lock in, and how do you know?
First, you gotta have your house in order. The only way you're gonna attract a good partner that you're actually happy with is if you are in a good place. Like, how do you know you found the one if you've only dated one?
But what is the secret to that energy that keeps you fired up all the time the way that you are? Because you literally walk around and you're buzzing all the time.
First of all, like, the foundation is gratitude. It's okay. How do you be grateful? You have perspective. Like, you look at your life and you also look at, like, the disasters going on in the world, the wars, the brutality that goes across. People getting killed and shot and raped right now all over the world. It's crazy. We're, like, safe in this beautiful podcast studio. We have, like, fresh water. Visualize 3, like, points. So here's, like, people always dwelling on the past and, you know, they're trying to change what's already happened. Terrible place to be. Here's the people that are living in the moment and they're happy and they're really grateful for where they're at. I'm here and I'm one step ahead and I'm like, I have made it too far. So I'm like, life is too good.
How are you breaking down your diet at the minute to make sure that you're on point, your skin's good, your fucking body's good? How would you tell a young man or woman to eat?
The biggest tip I can give is...
Do you know what, right? You're so fucking right. Because that is the one big domino you can knock over. Rob Lipsett, welcome back to Dubai.
Bro, what's up?
What's going on?
Yeah. Good to be back.
Mate, it's good to have you. There's been a lot changed in your life since we last spoke. When did we last speak? Was it September? No.
It would have been like the start of summer. I remember being quite
June,
hot.
July, something like that.
Yeah.
Mate, honestly, lots changed for you. You were well, let's just go back. You were obviously, you just done the villa, you just developed that, you're getting ready this for your engagement party or something like that. And then now you're married. Now you've got a child on the way. Like, mate, you've been on a full paper round. What's good? So
that is literally a paper round.
Yeah.
I like that. It has been like, I feel like I've like reached adulthood. Like, it's so quickly. Like, the house, the wife, and the kid. I was supposed to say kids, but just kid. Yeah, kid number one on the way. But yeah, it's been a crazy couple of months. So got married. One of the best days of my life. I guess, like, it probably is the best day of your life. It's just like hard. It's crazy to say that, you know.
Yeah.
Went extremely smooth. Like, everyone enjoyed it. Just no failures on the day, no disasters, no one got too drunk, including myself. That's actually a huge tip as well. If, like, on your wedding day, if you're, like, looking for, like, you know, a few kind of tips. Yeah. So one is, like, try and enjoy the moment as much as you can because it goes extremely fast. It's like a 12-hour day, but it's like, seems like 3 hours. Talk to your wife as well instead of just like, because you got to meet, like, there's 100 people at your wedding, you're like literally spending like a few minutes with everyone and you forget to actually sit down with your partner. Enjoy the food as well, you know, make sure eat all of it. Like, I did that, like, thank God. And then don't get too drunk or you'll just wake up with the fear. You'll actually forget your actual wedding. And know when to call it up. Like, there's been so many nights like where me and Linda, but we don't call up. We stayed up. I stay out all night. But on our wedding night at like midnight, we're like, let's go to bed. Yeah. So it's good.
We're done.
Yeah, we're done. But like, we got tomorrow. We got day 2.
Because I suppose the day gets so overwhelming that you just end up spending it with everyone else but your missus. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
But let's just go way back. Like, how long were you with Linda before you even decided to get married?
So in 2018, so even like go back a little bit more, like 2016 and 17 were my like single years, you know, because I was always in a long-term relationship. I'm always been a relationship guy. 2016 and 17 and a little bit of 18 were my like single years, you know, and they're great. Like, I think every man needs them, or you're always going to have that feeling of like, what if, and like the feeling of, did I meet enough people? Did I, you know, date enough? And like, how do you know you found the one if you've only dated one? You know what I mean? So I was in this like, you know, crazy period. I was like, I saw some success at that stage as well. Like, I didn't have to go on my 9 to 5 anymore, seeing some good results in the fitness industry and YouTube. And like, yeah, I was going out loads. It was a little bit chaotic. And then I was throwing a house party one night in October 2018, Halloween, and in walks Linda. So like we always knew who each other were. We have lots of mutual friends, but we actually never met. And we just locked eyes with each other, hit it off straight away, and the rest is history. So that's 2018. So it's what, like over 6 years ago?
If you were to say to a man, like any man listening to this, like when is the time to lock in, like, and how do you know, like what would you say?
So first you got to have your house in order first. That's my best piece of advice. Like I just said, I was pretty happy with where I was at, you know, business going well, my actual lifestyle setup was good, you know, I had a lot of freedom. Like I figured out how to utilize social media at that stage, and yeah, things were going really well. I was obviously always fit and healthy. That's like half the battle literally was finding a good partner. It's like just be in shape, be fit and be healthy, you know, be confident. But that just comes with all of the things I mentioned. So first thing is, the only way you're going to attract a good partner that you're actually happy with is if you are in a good place. So like the work begins within. Like you don't chase. Like she showed up to my place. I wasn't coming out looking for her. Like, you know, her friend's like, hey, do you want to come up to Rob Lipsett's? And she was like, yeah, of course. Yeah, let's go. You know, so I have the law of attraction. I law of attracted that shit. So that's number one. You know, attract, don't chase. So many guys they'll go around begging with their hands out, and it just, like the word describes, it just comes across very beggy. So set up your lifestyle in a way where it just attracts your wife into your life.
I love it, mate, because it's so true. Also, I believe that culture is very important, because obviously you're both from the same place, the same town, all that kind of stuff. Even though you live abroad, you live in Marbella now, you come to Dubai, you'll probably end up moving back to Ireland at some point to bring up the child. Yep. But the culture, where I've kind of fell off half the time is like, you know, I've dated different women from different cultures, and then you've got these different incompatibilities that you don't even realize at the time when you're pulled into something with lust. Have you found it's easier because she's from the same background, essentially?
100%. We've had this conversation. Irish sarcasm is very particular. You know, like there's so much like colloquialisms and references and just these little points of humor that no one else would understand, and that makes like us just laugh so much and get along so well. And we always say, like, you know, we always make fun of Ireland, like make fun of Irish people, but you know, in a nice way. We actually always say we couldn't like not be with each other if we weren't like Irish. So like that's such a strong point. And obviously there's people have amazing relationships from different countries and different cultures, but just speaking personally, that's like a huge thing for us.
I've spoken to a lot of other guys in the fitness industry and other industries that have done well too, and you know, a lot of them have tried to date outside their culture. They've tried the Latinas, they've tried the Russians, they've tried all these other things, but then they always end up going back to having like an English or an Irish or a Welsh or a Scottish wife, because you can get the banter with it. You know, that they understand your sense of humor, essentially. Even when I was in Australia, it was a struggle. I had to explain. Sometimes I have to explain yourself, and if you have to explain yourself after you drop the one line, it really fucking ruins
kills the flow.
Yeah, like, you're killing me here right now.
Yeah, and it's like also you just tick off things like maybe your political views are similar, which is helpful as well, and like your religion and everything, and even like your preference in food. You know, it just makes things a lot easier. You know, like, so a lot of people are always like, oh, you know, I want someone different to me, and it's like, no, you don't. You know, like I just think having, you know, an Irish girlfriend and we just align with a lot of things is perfect.
When I saw you in Marbella, I thought you just lived in Marbella for like a set amount of months per year, but you've been living there all the way into the winter and stuff like that. Why do you live there for all year round, and do you find that it takes away some opportunities by living there? Or
so I think we moved there after COVID, and I think after COVID the world kind of became a much smaller place, and like I was already in the online space, so it really, before I was kind of ahead of the game, you know. Before COVID it didn't really matter where I lived. After COVID it really didn't matter where I lived. So I was still getting the same opportunities, same sponsorships, making the same video, still have Irish UK clients. So I noticed like no difference. The only thing I was like, oh, the weather's better. And like I'm in a better mood. And you know, I can swim the sea, and I can like go hiking, and it's like always warm, and I can wear shorts year round. So it was very much just like a climate thing.
What was one of your biggest lessons from 2024 you couldn't unsee if you tried?
Quick one for you guys. If you're loving this conversation and you're getting immense value, consider hitting that subscribe button and turn the notification bells on, as it lets us know that we're creating the right content for you at the right time.
So it's actually like, how do I say it? I know the lesson. I'm trying to like say it. There's like, as you get older, there's just a small number of people that you need in your life. Like your circle becomes much smaller. And it's just all really about those people. And you stop trying to be like friends with everyone. Mm-hmm. And you just like really focus on those like family or your relationship and like your few close friends. You really just focus on that, and like they're all you need.
Yeah. And have you had to cut people out of your life in the last 12 months?
It cuts themselves out. People just drift apart, Yeah. I noticed like a lot of my friends, or myself included, we're all getting married and having kids now. And like, you're going to see each other less. And like that becomes the most important thing in your life. Like I can already tell when my daughter is born in June that like my life is pretty much going to be like her and Linda, and I can't wait for that.
So you've already. Most people don't get the sex of the baby until after, they're like a surprise. But you didn't want that.
Hell no! That is, I'm the most like planner type personality ever. I'm like, we're already like buying her clothes. I'm like, it's way more of a competitive head start to know the gender beforehand, so I can prepare.
How have you seen the missus change as she's going through the pregnancy? Because obviously there's a lot more to it than we see as men. But from the outside looking in, and how she was before to how she is now, like, how have you seen her change?
So she is about 4 months in, so like coming up to halfway. And I'm not even just like making this up. She hasn't got morning sickness once. We're like, are you a baby making machine? Like it is crazy. Like we're like, I was like, when are you going to get some weird cravings so I can eat them too? I was like, have you ever seen like Marmite watermelon? Yeah. That's a real Australian thing. But I was like, when are you getting the weird cravings? I was going to make a YouTube video eating my wife's weird pregnancy cravings. She hasn't got any yet. So her bump has just started to show now, and it's beautiful. Like it's like you get an appreciation of human life.
What's the secret to having like this high energy life that you have? Like in terms of like the way that you approach life has always inspired me. Because when I said to you about coming to this podcast today, and I said to you on the way in, I said, look, I've not planned anything today. I just want to sit down and just have a laugh with you, because I just love it. I love the energy of it. And I just, me and you get together, we just have a bit of banter. Yeah. But what is the secret to that energy that keeps you fired up all the time the way that you are? Because you literally walk around and you're buzzing all the time.
So right now, like it's coming up to 5 p.m. to anyone listen, and this is when like you can probably hear my voice. Like this is when my caffeine intake gets tapered off, and I start to wind down a little bit. Like I always do podcasts and interviews and Q&As in the morning. So I'm making a very, very special exception for you here today, Frankie. But so I was actually talking about this with my coaching community, my game plan community on Wednesday. We were talking about energy and appreciation and everything. And we're like, all right, so first of all, like the foundation is gratitude, right? That's just how you be happy. That's how you have that spring in your step, is to just be grateful. It's okay. How do you be grateful? Like I'm giving you the framework here. Gratuity, right? How do you be grateful? You have perspective. Like you look at your life, and you also look at like the disasters going on in the world, the wars, the brutality that goes across, that's going on right now. There's people getting killed and shot and raped right now all over the world. It's crazy, right? And we're like safe in this beautiful podcast studio. We have like fresh water and like goddamn fridge. I'm like, I put my fruit in the fridge because I'm like, ooh, I like cold fruit. It's just too easy. Fresh sheets, TV, Wi-Fi, it's all just too easy. So extreme perspective there. Like there's crazy shit going on in the world. People going through such hard stuff. So I'm extremely grateful for that. And then so a framework that I was kind of thinking about and talking about with my group was, so there's three visualize 3 like points on the screen. So here is like, and it kind of comes back to Eckhart Tolle, power now, living in the moment. So here's like people always dwelling on the past, and they're trying to change what's already happened. Terrible place to be. Here's the people that are living in the moment, and they're happy and they're really grateful for where they're at. I'm here and I'm one step ahead, and I'm like, I have made it too far. I have gotten further than I could ever have dreamed. And I'm like, it's like imposter syndrome. So I'm like, life is too good. Like I'm like, just can't believe how like lucky we are. So that's where I'm kind of feel I'm at. Like, I just like, I've made it further than I should have.
So you just live in that constant pocket of like, okay, I shouldn't have got this far. I'm a lucky bastard. I'll live there, and I choose to live there, rather than living in this lack or fear of something that happened in the past or anything like that.
Perfectly said. You've summed it up better than me.
Yeah. Mate, maybe I should be explaining things to your group.
There you go, bro. I always get guest speakers in, so it's just like it's like my fitness app, and like it used to just be like training and nutrition and everything, and then like in today's day and age, it's just like not enough. Like you can just go on to like AI and get a program or something, or watch one of my free YouTube videos. So I've started like in the last couple of months have a much more personal touch into it, like so doing weekly calls and going in on like mindset and kind of all the stuff that we're talking about now, that's not just training and nutrition, like stuff that makes a real difference to your life, and also bringing in guest speakers as well. So
are you enjoying your trajectory of podcasting?
Yeah, it's like my favorite type of content to make. It's actually like, especially as when you get a little bit older, you're like, you don't want to be always like jumping around with a camera. It's kind of like more of a mature way to make content, is to sit down and have a nice conversation.
I think you get to learn things, not only about yourself, but about guests and topics that you're interested in. It allows you to pursue your genuine interests, and as a byproduct of that, you got a piece of content that you can put out to the world, isn't it? So it streamlines everything you do.
Yeah. Who were the last couple of guests you've had on? Like 5 guests.
So I had former Miss New York, and she owns an AI company called Amana Boué.
So not just beauty, but brains there as well. She's
very, very intelligent, very articulate. Who else have I had? I had Sartorial Shooter, Jules Sullivan, been around the Tates and all that kind of stuff. Who else? I've got Zara Al-Madani coming back on. I've got some other big ones booked. But mate, like, I'm learning from everyone, and I'm just really enjoying it. And you know what? I've kind of took the pressure off. We were talking about this before the podcast. I took the pressure off the analytics and all that stuff now. It's like, because sometimes I was like that at the start, and then I started to look at them, and then I realized the other day, I'm like, don't worry about downloads and views and all that stuff. Just pursue what you generally find curious and interesting, and the rest of it will just work out how it works out.
Oh, bro, so I've got a funny one for you. I was like, I had a few episodes, I'm like, oh, they're not getting enough views, oh, they need to get more. And then, like, the way Spotify Wrapped do like a yearly review, and Buzzsprout as well, they do like yearly wrap up of your podcast, and it was like, congrats, you're in the top 5% podcast in the world.
Yeah, bro.
And I was like, what,
brother?
Like, I was there literally, I was like, I'm so shit. I was like, oh god, I need to work harder. And then I see that, and I was like, oh my god, brother, perspective again.
Brother, I got the same this year, right? And I was feeling like a little bit like, and brother, they sent me through this thing, and it says, Frankie Lee, you're in the top 0.5.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm like, top 0.5? Yeah. Man is moving, right?
You're like, should have been 0.4.
Yeah. Okay.
And here, wait, tell me a little bit. I got like podcast questions for you, I hate when it's all just like one-sided,
Go on.
Fill me in on the Andrew Tate episode. Like, I watched the episode, but I mean like the before and after, like going in, like, because this was when his case was going on, and everything. Yeah. So like, what was it like going into his house? Was there like police there? What story?
I'll preface it this. Why I decided to do the episode in the first place was because at the end of the day, he wasn't charged and he wasn't in jail with any crimes. So I felt I was in the right to be able to tell his side of the story, because you get a bit of criticism online when you do a podcast like that, right? Yeah. You're going to get a lot of haters for that. What it was like was, there's so much work that goes into it. So I looked at all the podcasts that he had filmed, people like Patrick Bet-David and people like that that had done these productions there, and I'm like, all of these people have taken 15, 20 man teams into this house. I'm going to go there with me and my offside of Eros. We went there together. 2 suitcases worth of stuff. The production value that we got out was better than some of these other podcasts that I've seen.
Yeah.
Just even being able to go in there with 2 suitcases, Rob, walk in there, being like, say hello to Tristan, walk in, go set up, right? And then Andrew's in there working away, doing his stuff on the laptop. I walk in the room with Eros, we set it up, we lighted it. It was beautiful, mate. Like, the experience was mad to me, because like, how do I make that dark, dingy cigar room look like it pops on YouTube video?
Yeah.
So it's so much more to it. I mean, the lighting is so important. That's why I'm using a lot of studios now, because I just love this lighting. You know, you got the soft light on this side of your face right now, and the harsher light on this one, and the down lighting. I just think it adds to the art. So it was a whole experience. But one thing people don't understand is, like, you have to do 5 years worth of reps before you even have the chance to book the podcast. Then when you book it, that people don't realize how much investment has to go into even getting to the point where you can record it and stuff like that. It's just
it's expensive.
It's expensive, brother.
Like
you're giving it away for free, bro.
It's like there's been times where I've rented a studio and it's been like 800 quid or something, like for editing as well, for the whole thing, you know. Like, I know prices just vary so much, but you're just like, man, 800 quid, I could have got a nice holiday. You know, I could have literally brought the missus on a holiday, you know. But like, I'm interviewing some dude here. I know. You know? And then you really got to like sacrifice, bro.
Yeah, you understand it because you create at the level you've created content at. I'm sat down with someone who gets it.
Yeah.
Maybe not everyone who listens to this podcast will understand what we're talking about, but just to really fucking dial it in for you, I've never made a cent out of the podcast, man. Not front end revenue, back end revenue in terms of, like, you know, growing the brand, growing my personal brand, growing Content Removal's name, maybe content removal deals. Okay, there's back end revenue. Okay. Front end revenue, always losing money.
As in, have you ever done a sponsor?
Never done a sponsor.
Okay, right.
Yeah. At the moment,
I love a sponsor. Yeah. I'm like, get them in.
I know, like, I've been silly around that topic in terms of, like, you know, monetization and stuff like that. I've been a bit like anti it and this and ever, but I see the benefit of it too. You know,
there's the main rule is don't promote or work with brands you wouldn't use yourself. As long as you just don't do that, that's it. You know, that's it.
Have you ever had any backlash for working with a brand?
Never. No, I'm super careful. Even if I think there might be backlash, I'm like, no. Yeah. No, like, I've been like, even like the brands that I work with, they're not brand deals. It's like Ghost and Alfleet, who I've been with since 2016. They don't even ask me to put them in my videos. Yeah. They don't have set amount of posts for me to do per month. They're just like, yeah, Rob, just, you know, as long as you're making sales and, you know, bringing awareness to the brand and always using it. So I use both every single day. They don't even ask me to, like, put it in a podcast.
Well, you just been over to Texas, haven't you, to the Alphalete place, haven't you?
Yeah, flew literally straight here. So I'm a bit like it was a 15-hour flight. And I'm not sure the time zone difference, but yeah, I've been traveling loads. Yeah,
and you know, how do you even negotiate being able to do that with a missus that's carrying a child? I mean, she must be quite emotional about you traveling all the time.
Oh no, I was like, do you want to come? And she was like, no, I'm not getting on that 15-hour flight.
So she's just happy chilling by the pool in Marbella.
Her mum is in the villa at the moment. The two of them are having a little girls' time. They're getting massages in the house, getting their nails done.
See, that's why the culture matters, because I think you have such a chilled life because they understand your culture, mate.
Bro, so when you're not the first person to, like, even someone like commented online and DM me like, oh, Linda not coming this trip with you, and I'm like, no, she's just chilling at home. You know, I asked her to come. I'm just going to be doing podcasts and shooting like all day. She's just going to be sitting in a hotel room, and the people are like, no way, whoa, you're so lucky. They're like, oh, calling her missus like the ball and chain, you know, and I'm like, you picked the wrong one, bro. You know, you got to have a girl that, like, trusts you and lets you live your life.
Yeah, I've learned that.
You're there just looking at me like this.
I'm like, yeah, that wouldn't have worked with me with any of the girls that I've dated. Like, I couldn't imagine walking away from any of them for a month and it being okay. Like, it just wouldn't happen, mate. I'll just because me and one of
2 weeks. I'm
yeah,
out for 2 weeks.
Me and one of your close friends, we both have a similar type of model of woman that we go for.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And we both end up in like destruction mode. I think around these topics.
Yeah,
it's kind of issue, but you can't help what you like, and you like what you like. But,
I know,
but it's not always good for you.
Yeah, I've definitely struck gold in terms of like Linda. Like that's hence why I put a ring on it. You know, like in terms of just it enhances my life. Doesn't make it worse.
After moving to Australia, I always discounted English women. I'm like, oh yeah, I won't get an English girl. But then after you go, every so often, like you'll meet an English girl, like just random as a friend or friend of a friend, and you just have such good banter and get on with them. I'm like, fucking hell, like it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
sure, Australians are just English people with sunstroke. Like the flag is the same and everything as well. You know,
Australians have warmed to me. Like the women still get some of my stuff lost in context. They can take it offensively sometimes, but you just can't. You just have to be less sharp with your tongue as an Englishman in Australia than you are in England. You know, I think that's what I've learned over time.
Yeah, Australians are so similar to Irish. Like if I was to pick one country on the entire planet that is most similar to Irish people, it's not UK, even despite being direct neighbours. It's Australia. I don't know why. I think the history is because the other way it was a prison for Irish people back in the day. Ned Kelly and the boys. When you're sent to Australia like for a prison. So I think like there's just a lot of Irishness there.
Mate, Australia and Australians are my spiritual people, I'm telling you now, yeah. Like I love the country, I love everything about it. I represent it all over the world. Yeah. When anyone asks where this podcast is from, I don't call it a UK podcast. I'm like, even I started it, I'm like, it's an Australian podcast.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like I have to represent, and I love the country.
Wait, where do you live in Australia?
I lived in the Gold Coast.
No, but and now you live in...
Now I'm living out of 2 suitcases, rocking around the world, bro. And I have been for 2 years, bro.
Where do you get your post sent to?
I honestly, I have no fixed abode.
Are you serious?
Serious, bro. 2 years. 2 years. I'm getting 2 years because I'm trying to figure out, right. So I could live the best and most beautiful life in the Gold Coast, Australia, right? I could do that.
I thought you lived in like Sydney or something.
Nah, bro.
I thought you lived between Sydney and Dubai. That was my guess.
No. So I'm a resident of Dubai. I'm a citizen of Australia, a citizen of the UK.
Okay.
Right? So like I've got a UK passport, Australian passport, and then residence here.
Andrew Tate over here.
Yeah, but my ideal life spec would be to like have a place in the Gold Coast, Australia, and then a place in Dubai, and then a place in Miami. But if I have, I kind of feel like Miami's my logical place to be because it's got access to the US market, and to get the podcast where I have the vision to take this thing, I think being in that market is the best for me. I mean,
yeah, I would say Miami's the last place I was. So the story I was about to tell you beforehand. So that's where we went on our honeymoon. Like me and Linda absolutely love Miami. Like we always find it funny when people are like, you're going to your honeymoon to Miami, that's so ratchet. So where you go on like a stag do, or like, Americans always find it funny, and we're like, no, me and Linda were like, we just absolutely love it.
I fucking love it too.
Bro, like the beaches are white and like it's unbelievable. Yeah, there's like parts of it that are rough, but it's super nice, most of it. Real like it's like what's the aesthetic? Real like sporty and rich, like country club. Yeah. I love the vibe. Anyways, so we're in Miami on our honeymoon, having the best time ever, staying in the Fontainebleau. You know,
that's where I stayed.
Yeah, it's great.
Mad place.
Yeah, we're staying. Oh yeah, I know. So we're staying there, and we're having the best time ever. Like just really having fun. And like, so on day 3 out of 7. I have this I get this massive fine. Like I'll go into it off camera what it's for. It's stupid, I'm contesting it, but the fine is for like 70 grand.
Fucking hell.
76 grand to be exact. I'll tell you about it later. I'm in the right. Anyways, right. Stress. Like I'm like, what the hell? And then like Linda, so when we got to America, she did a pregnancy test beforehand and it was negative. So we're like, all right, great, you know, we can enjoy. And then like we were in a CVS and there was like a big, huge, they were on sale, all the pregnancy sticks. What are they fucking called? Pregnancy tests, pregnancy sticks. So we got a load of them, and like Linda's just doing them daily, like for the laugh. And on day 3, she's like runs into the room. I'm on my laptop in the bed. I'm like, have this fine. I'm like, oh my God, like what the fuck? And then Linda's like, Rob, I'm pregnant. And I was like, no, you're not. I'm really not the time for these jokes now, Linda. She was like, I'm pregnant. I was like, Linda, I'm really after getting bad news. Don't joke with me. I was like, it's not funny. It's not funny. And she's like, look. I was like, oh my God. And so, you know, freaked out. And then we're obviously really happy. But it was so funny. Like our honeymoon just got cut completely in half. Like, you know, we couldn't go out or anything. But we were so happy. Like we were just delighted. But we were like, our married life lasted like 3 months.
Mate, it's mental. Like, what did you actually get fined for? Go on, tell me.
I have to cut it out. Like I'll tell you, but you have to cut it out.
Yeah, all right.
I'm serious.
No. All right, don't tell me. Don't tell me on camera.
Okay, yeah, because
we'll leave. We'll go over it. But if it's for 70 grand, you've played the game, haven't you?
Well, it's actually a good way. It means I was making money, anyways. Yeah. let's say that.
Only you could go to America on a honeymoon or a holiday and end up with a pregnant wife and a fine.
Yeah. I was like, we could have gone on 10 honeymoons. But yeah, no, it's all good.
I love the you know the best part of the story. The best part of the story is the fact that you wanted to get pregnancy tests on sale.
Guys, before we go into this podcast is sponsored by contentremoval.com. If you're looking to remove any images, videos, search results, fake accounts, or anything else online, go to contentremoval.com. We've looked after everybody from the likes of Alex Hormozy, Kayla Racines, Tammy Hembrow, to a whole host of other brands and celebrities that you know and love. And we'd love to help you with your issues online. So if you have any issues online and you want to get in touch with us, click the link below this video and go to contentremoval.com.
Yeah. We were literally like, give us the bumper pack there.
Yeah. Give us 10 of those.
Yeah.
Bring it in. But yeah, do you ever see yourself living in America?
Yeah, so I got an O1 visa. So do you know what that is? Yeah. So it's like the hardest visa ever you can get. I got it in 2019. This is another story. So you know what it is? So it's an extraordinary ability visa. It sounds so crass.
Even when you say it, I'm waiting for you to drop the laugh.
I'm like, it sounds so cocky.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Go.
And so I wanted to move to California. And so I went to an immigration lawyer and I was like, can I get a visa? And they're like, yeah, what do you do? And I was like, yeah, I'm a fitness YouTuber. Like, and they're like, oh, can we see your channel? Like, they're like, oh, you've the #1 fitness channel in the entire country. And then she was like, do you have any other newspaper articles? And I was like, yeah, I got loads, magazine covers, everything, best-selling book. They're real, like, when you're getting an O1 visa, they love like old school, like physical things.
Yeah.
They're like, do you have any trophies? And I was like, of course I do. So I have a trophy for like top newcomer in the fitness industry. I had like men's physiques trophies, and they're like, oh, you can, there's your O1 visa. And so I got it. And you put a file together, you go into the US embassy, you do an interview, and they're like, this dude's a fucking legend. Let's give him an American citizenship. And then
so they give you citizenship?
Yes, yeah, you get like a 2-year visa, and then you can renew it and get another 2 years. And then COVID happened, and Trump, funny enough, like not only stopped flights, like stopped all visa applications, like completely. Like you can look it up, you can actually Google like O1 visa application in 2019. Like they just stopped the process for any visa. And yeah, so I was like, all right, I'll just wait a week for this to blow over, and then I'll resume it. Obviously COVID went on for like 2 years, and then I was just like, I actually like don't even want it anymore. Like if I ever want to go to America and feel that hit, like get my hit, I just go get an Airbnb for 3 months, which I have done lots of times.
Going on the Esta.
Yeah, exactly. Going on the Esta, and you just get a 3-month Airbnb. You saw it stay in Santa Monica, Miami, like do so much time there. Texas, do so much time there. And it's like, after like a month, I'm like, oh yeah, like this is it's the best country ever, like, but I'm like, I don't need to live here.
Yeah.
You know, and then I end up like buying in Marbella and settling there, and that's like close to home. It's kind of like Miami, like in terms of the lifestyle, and I'm like, oh, I don't need to do this, but it's there. If I wanted, I can just pick up the application and do it.
That's what Chris Williamson got. He got the he got the O1 visa.
It's actually like, you don't have to be like a celebrity to get it. Like you would, if you have a podcast with like 100K. And this is the main thing. Like, so I had like long conversations with lawyers, but it does cost a couple $1,000 to do all the lawyer meetings. If you're just an industry leader, so if you're an expert in your field, then that's it. It doesn't have. There's people who are like TV presenters. They have like 10K followers, and they'll get it.
Legit, people have told me in America that I qualify for that visa.
You would definitely get it. It's not as like, you don't have to be like a famous actor.
You don't have to be like fucking Sylvester Stallone or anything like that.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
but that's what all like celebrities have, but it's not that hard to get.
Yeah.
So, I got an open visa, yeah.
Have you been to Australia yourself?
Loads of times, yeah. I've done like a good month there. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Do you not think that's one of the best places in the world?
It is, like, fully agree. So I did like, the first time I did it like properly was with Joe Delaney. He's another, he was just on my podcast actually. He's one of my best friends. He's a huge fitness YouTuber, just brilliant at what he does. Me and him traveled around Australia for like 5-6 weeks. So we flew, we met in Dubai. Like, he flew from Manchester, I flew from Dublin, met in Dubai. We did like 3 days here, and then Dubai, is it direct to Melbourne? It is. It is direct. It was a long flight. We did Dubai direct to Melbourne, and then we did Melbourne for 2 weeks. We did Sydney for 2 weeks. We drove all this. Sydney for 2 weeks, Gold Coast for 2 weeks, and then Noosa and Byron Bay.
Yeah, bro.
Best trip. Still, we talk about this trip to today. Like, unbelievable. Like, so we knocked out a lot of all the best places, really.
Yeah, to me, I mean, I fucking love the place. I really do. Like, even just thinking about it, like it's been really hard watching the tennis, the Australian Open, because I've been to the Australian Open and it's fucking brilliant, bro. Like, I'm not like a mad tennis fan or anything.
Oh yeah, who gives a shit? But tennis and F1. Stop pretending you care.
Yeah,
you're there for the fucking riz.
I'm not a massive tennis or anything like that, but it's fucking good. Like, it's a fucking good atmosphere. Like, let's go there and see the Australian Open, and even like Wimbledon in the UK is a mad atmosphere.
Yeah, I've never gone to a tennis or F1. Yeah. That's actually, I'd love. Well, I ain't doing shit now. Next year,
but you couldn't go to tennis. You know what, mate? When they say quiet, please, for the serve, you'll be just there chatting away with your beer.
Like, let's go. F1, the engines would drown me out though, so that would be more suitable.
I don't know, mate. I don't know if we worked out the decibels. But mate, you've been on a lot of podcasts. You've done a lot of podcasts yourself. What is something that you've always wanted to be asked, or a topic you've always wanted to talk on, but you've never spoken on a podcast before?
This is stuff that I can't bring up.
Tell me something you can bring up.
Okay. But that's the answer. Shit I want to talk about, but it's like, can't talk about it. Okay, so something that I always like to talk about.
Preferably something you can talk about.
Yeah, that's true. But see, I'll tell you afterwards and stuff. But so there's an air of mystique. So I think when I go on podcasts, people are always like, I'm very easy to research, so people always do good research. There's like some really, I'll never forget, do you know Danny Miranda? By any chance, he's like a podcaster.
He retired from.
Yeah, he retired. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? I was just about to say, he asked me like some of the best questions ever. He'd go to like a YouTube video that was like 8 years old, and he'd like go to a memorable moment like 15 minutes into the video, and he'd bring that up. So yeah, I followed Danny on Twitter, and when I saw that, I was like, bro, cop on, let's go.
I think you.
But I think when people bring up that, like, just some old YouTube videos, and like me when I'm coming up in the fitness industry, it's just like it's an era that I love, and I love like thinking back on.
What is one of your favorite old videos that you just have so many like background memories to filming it?
Yeah, it was actually Joe Delaney was in it, and it was like one of the body power vlogs. Do you know what body power is?
Yeah, of course.
You know, in the UK, and like how
Massive.
funny was that when everyone was wearing like skin tight Gymshark tracksuits, and like the gym fashion was so bad, and people had like diamond earrings. It was so tacky. But I remember like I'd watch back on these body power vlogs, and it was just like me like first getting into the fitness industry, and I was like first meeting Christian Guzman, and me and Joe Delaney were like, you know, just like meeting as well, and like it was just like I was like, oh, I just know I'm on the right path here. I was so young, and it's just really like nice to be able to look back on them. And I was like, I always knew like I'd be in the fitness industry, and like I'd look at guys like Steve Cook and like Greg Plitt at the time as well, you know, all these guys, and I'm like, I want to be like that in 10 years, and now I am. So like it's just always really nice to look back on.
You're a testimony for what they term as follow your passion, you know?
Yeah, so people hate, sorry to interrupt, people hate on that. They're like, it's corny, it's not. No, it's true. And people have also tried to like become all philosophical on that statement as well, like, well, no, actually you should follow what you're driven towards. Just follow your fucking passion, right? Like, you know, stop trying to put your own whimsical twist on it. It's great advice, and I do it.
You think it is generally great advice for everyone?
Yeah, like, and just, you don't have to be like, you can't be like, oh yeah, Pash, I have to be a rock star, you know. But like, you have to have some interest in what you're doing. Be realistic, is what I'm trying to say. But if you don't have some sort of passion, some sort of interest into what you're doing, you're literally going to be depressed. How could you wake up every day and do something you've no interest in? That sounds like banging your head against the wall.
There's not a chance that I could have pursued podcasting in the way that I've pursued it all around the world and all these countries and traveled everywhere to do it if I didn't love the game and love the art of it.
Like, even guys, even like doctors and dentists and like builders, like all these lawyers, all these traditional jobs, like they do love their jobs. I know this is what all my friends in Ireland like work as. And you know, like, you don't, when people say follow your passion, their mind automatically goes to like astronaut, race car drivers. No, you can be passionate about like more traditional stuff as well.
Well, why do you think the Irish as a race of people are the most inept at traveling to different locations and setting up their whole new life in a new location? Because it doesn't matter whether you're in America, whether you're in Dubai, whether you're in, they're everywhere, bro. Like Irish are everywhere. You always meet, and they're always, even if they haven't got all their ducks in a row, even if they haven't got all the money that they want at the time, they're always happy. They're always, how are you guys cooking that, and what's that about?
I actually think now some Irish people will like school me in the comments, but I think it actually goes back to the famine, and so everyone had to migrate to America. And there was one stage in like the 1800s. I love, like, I go down like history rabbit holes. Like, I'll butcher history, but something I'm interested in as well. So there was one stage in America, 10% of the population was Irish. Like, fully 100% Irish, not like cousins or something. They were like 10% of the population in America was Irish, because they had to, there's no food in Ireland, there was a famine. So everyone got on a boat and went to America. And then, so I think it all just comes from that. Like, we had to like leave the country. And now in recent years, there's the worst housing crisis I've seen in any country. And there's a lot of like homeless as well, and it's just become a less desirable place to live in. So there's obviously no famine nowadays, but that's what is now causing a lot of emigration. Like for me, for example, I left. All my friends have left as well, you know.
Yeah.
So, in previous years caused by famine, and in recent years just quality of life and housing.
Will you go back there though when your child's born?
Yeah, I would like to. So one thing, like, you just can't like replace where you're from, like having family there, and like you know the fucking shops, you know the street, you just know it's just your home, and it always will be. You know, so yeah. And also one thing that is excellent in Ireland is the education. It's really good. Like I went to, so some people they tried to like knock me for this. I like say it really proudly. I went to like private school, and like I'm so grateful for that opportunity. Like I don't never pretend like I'm some rags to riches story. I did have like no money when I left college, dropped out of college. Like, you know, I started my business with like €300 in my account, and like have made over 7 figures over the years. But it's like, I'm not claiming some rags to riches story. But anyways, side note, the education system is really good. You know, like the schools are brilliant. Like I loved school. Like it was so much fun, and like I feel I got a good education. So that's one thing I would like to send my daughter or future son, daughters, whatever, to school and college in Ireland.
I have the same thesis. I think you always return naturally home at some point.
Yeah.
Like I think England will have to be a home again at some point, regardless of how many years I spend away from it. It's like it's always going to be home, isn't it?
Like you got an English accent, you got an Irish accent. You just know you're 100% Irish, like, you know.
Yeah, you know, yeah, and it fucking pains me seeing what's happening in England and Ireland.
I saw your tweet.
Yeah. That, and the tweet that you're talking about is a tweet where I wrote right, I've watched England go downhill for like 15 years, and it can't, like the stock market, there has to be a bottom, and I think we're about 1.5 to 3 years away from the bottom of the market, and I think then England has to rise, or Ireland has to rise. It's the same fucking thing. Like it's gone too far now. It can't. Can it really? What's your opinion? Do you think it can go much further?
Yeah, I think that was a really good tweet, and I think it's like 5-6 years, but like, you know, I think you're right. Like it's gonna just hit a halting point where people are just really sick of the way things are going. Maybe you're right. Like this year, so yeah, there's statistics, I was just reading them, and it was like last year, the percentage of people that were complaining about immigration was like nothing. It was like 9% or something. And now it is the people reported as Ireland's biggest problem. So it's not like crazy right-wing people saying like no to immigration. It's like the majority of people. But the majority of people are saying like this is worse than the housing. Well, I guess it's the same thing because they take the housing. But like that was the biggest complaint in Ireland this year.
Yeah, and it's the same in England, right? And
Ireland and England is like the same, really. And
me and you are both immigrants, but wherever we've immigrated to, we always bring value and pay the taxes and do the thing and this and that. Like when I went to Australia, right? My first job was as a tiler's assistant, right? A tiler's fucking assistant. Tyler the tiler worked out between Brisbane and the Gold Coast. I worked for this guy. I went working for him for 3 fucking weeks, bro. He was paying me $20 an hour. I worked for 3 weeks. I'd spent half my money on tools and half my money on a car to get to this job. I worked 3 weeks for this guy, bro. He didn't pay me, bro. That was the first time I'd ever like been broke. Like properly broke again, since obviously I've been broke in England, but like broke in the first time I was broke in Australia, it was like about 3 or 4 weeks into the trip. I'd spent all my money on I bought a Mitsubishi Magna, and I bought my power tools, bro, for this job, thinking, you know, I'll do 3 weeks work, he'll pay me, and I'll have enough money to buy food and stuff before I run out. And brother, this guy runs off with the money. I end up fucking there. And I got a bag of apples, a loaf of bread, and peanut butter, bro.
It's a pretty good combo.
Yeah, and I'm like,
you can dip the apples in the peanut butter.
Bro, that food, people don't realize this. That food, I had to live off that for a week before I could get another job on labour hire to earn some more money to get paid to be able to feed myself in Australia. Like, so I've seen what immigrating to another country's like. I know that game.
Yeah.
Like, it's not easy, but like, if you're gonna immigrate to any country, just bring some fucking value. They don't let you just walk into Dubai and not bring value to Dubai, do they?
Bro, so I'm obviously Irish citizenship. I have Spanish citizenship and a UAE citizenship. I got my UAE one because you got to pay like 15 grand to open a business. I got my Spanish one because I bought a property for over €500,000. So you automatically get residency by investment. If someone wants to go to Ireland and buy a massive gaff and like start a business, they're more than welcome. They're obviously really rich, successful people. Bring them in. If someone is going to go and like start looking for benefits and handouts, no, it's not what we need.
Most people don't understand that Ireland is one of the best places to start a business in Europe.
Yeah.
Right? So Ireland's different from the UK. They did it better. Ireland are about 11% corporate tax.
Yeah, it's 12.5
or something like that. Yeah, they've only increased it by 1.5% like in the last couple of years. Then, but it was at 11. Now it's 12.5. Okay, that is one of the best corporate tax structures in the whole. That's why
in the world.
That's why Google are there, Facebook are there, all the big tech brands are all have an office in Ireland, don't they?
Yeah, that's actually this is where I'll butcher it, like, but I think a lot of people, these huge companies coming into Dublin and like bringing like thousands of staff has like messed up the housing availability as well, I think. But it's one of the best like tax structures like in the world. Yeah. But it's still, there's a really good video on it, and it's like Ireland is really rich on paper because of all these massive companies, but like the average person is like is struggling like to have their day-to-day living.
Yeah, I think the average person there is definitely struggling. I think
no one can buy a home.
Yeah. Well, even out of your friends?
Like no, not very like a few of them, but like my friends would be quite well to do, you know, like they have really good jobs and stuff, but like just the average person, it's like we've actually got one of the highest rates of like living at home of people in their 30s living at home.
Do you obviously many of the biggest fitness influencers in the game, especially on the YouTube space, from the UK, from Europe, from Dubai, everyone like that, you've seen them all, and from America too. Obviously, the way that you've lived your life, you've got the missus, you've got the child on the way, you live a very, what I term as wholesome life, even though you've had success. When you're looking at your friends that are also out there just putting out YouTube videos and doing this, that, and the other, that might not have the same life as, say, a you or a Matt Morcia, do you feel like they feel that lack in their life, or because on YouTube it might not look that way, but do you feel that they feel some kind of lack in their life because they don't have the connection that you probably have?
Well, Christian and Max, they're about, we all got married in the same year, and they're probably going to get started on kids as well. But I think it's kind of like I hate to say put a timeline on it, but like I think age is super important. For some people, you're like, age doesn't matter. You don't have to be on a certain timeline. I'm like, well, biologically speaking, like especially if you're a woman, you kind of do. So most of the people that I know in the fitness industry who are getting on into their 30s, they're settling down. So
what would your advice be to me now? I'm 36 years old, man.
Yeah.
You know my ambition for the podcast and for the pursuit that I want to go on it, and what I want to achieve in life. We've had many conversations about it in the past. Obviously, I don't have the missus or have the child on the way right now. What would your advice be to me? Do I pursue this, or should I have to look at everything?
You need to find a woman that eggs you on, supports you, doesn't slow you down, doesn't derail you, and that literally like thinks your podcast the coolest fucking thing ever. Like Linda, when I upload, she's me and Linda joke, we call her a fan. Linda, when I upload like a YouTube video or a post, I'll upload a picture on Instagram, she'd be like, oh my god, look, like zooming in on it and stuff, like crazy, so you just gotta find someone that literally like, and then half time she's holding the camera, someone that not only like helps your business, helps your goals, but like loves it. And like if you're like, I'm recording a podcast, she'd be like, oh my god, yes, you do it. Like when you get some women that are like, you're always working, pay attention to me, get rid. Really? So you need to just find that chick that just really pushes you.
I believe that woman just comes into your life and she presents
as happened to me.
I don't believe in going out there and just chasing all these dates or being on these dating apps anymore. Got rid of all that shit years ago. You know what I mean?
Did you ever use dating apps?
I've used dating apps. I've tried dating apps.
Me too.
Yeah. But it's a subscription for a reason.
Yeah.
Because you're not meant to get off them.
Yeah.
Like, I've tried that Hinge and all that kind of stuff. And
what's the best one now?
I'd say the best
only one I've ever used is like Tinder back in the day.
Oh yeah, that's
gone now.
That's gone with the wind, I think. But
Yeah.
but Hinge is the one that most people would know of that listen to this podcast right now. There's obviously Raya and other more advanced dating apps where they invite you on because you got a social media presence, etc., etc.
Like Raya.
but I just think that's a big wank fest anyway. But yeah, Hinge is the one that most people these days are on.
Okay, what about Bumble as well?
I think Bumble is one of those ones that sits in the peripheral there. It kind of like some people use it. That's the one that gives women the right to take the upper hand or something, which is a weird dynamic to me because it's like that's everything against psychology of the whole how the world works.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to play that game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because you're going against evolutionary psychology here. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So wait, Tinder's gone the way of Facebook. And Hinge is the third one.
The way I believe it is right now in the marketplace, and we'll call it a marketplace because it is a fucking marketplace. I believe Tinder's where you go if you just want to bang in Europe kind of thing.
Yeah.
And all that thing. That's the Tinder game. And then you got the Bumble game is like, you know, where you get the women that want to be like feminists and they want to control the narrative. So that's that one. And then you got I'm joking, girls, before you start on me.
Yeah.
So that's what you call a joke that gets missed in Australia.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
just clarifying it. And then you got Hinge, which is like the kind of like the gold standard of subscriptions to have.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's where we're at, bro. But the moral of the fucking story is you don't want to deal with any of that shit. You want to just work on attracting the right person into your life, don't you?
Yeah.
You don't want to deal with it. But I do look at people like you as kind of like the gold standard of being able to do that, because I see that you've still got a sense of humor, you've got a great life, you've got a great business, your missus is super supportive, you know. It's just nice. Everything about your life is just like, oh mate, that's fucking good. You see me on the pictures, I'll always fucking drop a comment on there.
Thank you. I'm like, what's up? No, but like, I got loads of worries as well. I'm always like, I always feel I should be making more money, and I feel I should be like more productive. Like, even though I'm doing great, you know, like I'm not stuck for money, but I always feel like I'm like, I should be making more. But then you see a lot of these guys on social media, they're actually just faking it. Like people are really flex. I'm like, oh, should I have like a better Rolex? Should I have like the car and everything, you know? And I'm like, I always think I should be doing more, you know. So
I got asked on a podcast the other day, you know, is the biggest thing you're looking to pursue right now is the right woman? And I'm like, no, that I'm pursuing the best version of myself, because I know and I believe in my heart that brings the best quality woman. Basically, what I've realized is you can't control when that woman shows up. Like, that's not my problem, is it? It's just I've just got to be in the pursuit of being the best version of myself. Yeah. And I'd encourage every man that listens to this podcast to go and do that, you know, rather than focusing on chasing these random good-looking things on fucking Hinge. Like, what? You're just wasting time.
One thing though, so like, let's say, you know, obviously you be the best version of yourself, you will attract a great partner. Where would you go to meet her? Because you're not going to walk into the podcast studio.
Well,
so that's the thing.
I also believe, so I've got some really elegant women that have done great things. People, let's just pull one out. Let's just say Keller's in it, right? So me and her are friends. You know, I go around the house. Her mum will fucking make me feel welcome. This and the other. You're not telling me then that someone like that couldn't then potentially introduce you to someone, one of her friend group, and then that's how you meet a partner.
Yeah, that's the best way.
So what I'm saying is, I just surround myself with elegant women that are stable and this and the other. Like, they're already not surround myself with women in relationships, but what I mean is, like, so the guests that I have on and this and the other, they're all stable people. They build your network, and then as a byproduct of being in their network, you could potentially get introduced anyway. Yeah, that's kind of how I think it would probably work out. Yeah, I wouldn't go to locations to find them. I just if that's what you're asking, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that's pretty. Well, I'm just like, do you go to clubs or bars? You don't even drink them.
No. I go to like meals and things, but I don't really go to these places. Beautiful women just pop up, don't they? Like, it's fine. I couldn't tell you where to go to meet them, because like the gym's a great one though. They pop up.
Gym's a good
one. Like, if you're gonna say, oh, where's the best place? The gym. I tell you when the best time is as well. 5 a.m., 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning, because then you know she hasn't been out the night before.
You know she's not a sesh head.
Because you got to know. Or same with Saturday as well, brother. Because you know, sometimes people love a Friday night as well.
What gym do you go to out here?
TK MMA.
Nice, yeah. That's where I train probably the most on average. There's so many tryout. Today I was in warehouse in Al Quoz.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's really good. Super busy, but I guess it was kind of a nice atmosphere. Like,
what's your real thoughts? I mean, I know you got your business based here and everything's based here for that reason, and I get that. But you'd never live in Dubai, would you?
So funny enough, might be so basically, right. We are having the baby in Ireland in June. So we're going to be in Ireland for May, June, July. And so we are renting out the villa in Marbella. And we've actually been offered, someone wanted to rent it for like 6 months and also 12 months. Because we put it on, like I texted to my like real estate people and I'm like, can you put this on your books? And there's been loads of interest. Like people want to rent it for like over 100 grand for the year. So it'd be mad not to. And like, we're like, oh yeah, we're going to be at home in Ireland for a large portion. And we're like, let's do Ireland, maybe somewhere else. And we're like, so not Marbella, where else would we go? And we're like, probably Dubai.
Yeah,
so I might do like 6 months out here.
Well, and you'll do it between like September, October.
Oh yeah, for sure. I've been here in the summer. It's rough. But like, so my tips for living in Dubai long term and making it sustainable is just focus on health, and I mean that in terms of like your wallet and you get so fat and out of shape and like just spend so much money if you're constantly going out to all these bougie places, which is so easy to do in Dubai. So like if you're caught up in the scene, you're gonna have a bad time. Just if you're in Dubai, go for walks on Kite Beach, the promenade, go to the gym, like train your ass off. You've the best gyms. Like you've the biggest gyms ever, and like go for like nice healthy brunches.
Mate, I have a triangle. I go from the gym, TK MMA, back to my place to work. I'm near the beach, and then I'll come to the podcast studio, and I might go out with a meal with my friends like Charlie Johnson, something like that, or some of our mutual friends. I go for a meal, and then I'll come back, and I do that same circle, because like to me, like Dubai, the best thing about Dubai is Dubai can really propel your growth, especially as a creator or in this creator space. It can really propel your growth. But as soon as you start trying to live the Dubai life and trying to drive around these Lamborghinis, look like a wanker, you're on the road to destitution in my opinion.
Man, completely. And like there's been times where I've came here for like a month and like I've gone too much beach parties and like just being a wanker pretty much. And like you don't realize, because everything's in dirham, you're like, oh fuck, I just spent so much. Like it is an expensive place, but you can live cheaply here. Yeah. Like today, I'd actually love to show you a picture of my lunch. Today, like I went to what's the fresh supermarket, All Day Fresh? Or
all day,
Bro, so I went in, I got 2 sushi rolls, a big massive thing of mango, a big massive thing of watermelon, and like a Ghost electrolyte drink, and it was like €20. I was like, that's cheap. Like it was massive, like a big sushi dinner. Whereas you can also go for sushi and spend like 120 in one of the places. So you can live in Dubai cheap,
How are you breaking down your diet at the minute to make sure that you're on point, your skin's good, your fucking body's good, you're hitting your macros? How would you tell a young man or woman to eat? In terms of what types of food and how? Okay,
so the main thing, the biggest tip I can give is cook all your own food. That's like what everyone, like I say, we're both guilty of, is eating out too much. It's so expensive. I love eating. No, bro, don't get me wrong. I love eating out. I love the experience. I love looking at the menu. I love the waiter comes over. They present you your food. They clean it up afterwards. You go for the walk around. I love eating out. I think it's such a luxury. But like, if your goal is to get in shape, it's just like you stop eating out. Like you're obviously, people complain about money for a gym membership. And
do you know what? Right, you're so fucking right, because that is the one big domino you can knock over. I never even thought of that as a big domino, bro. I've thought about obviously counting calories and having a meal plan and all that stuff. But you think about it, if you stop eating out, you literally can't unsee everything that you're eating.
It's impossible. The chef will be like let's say you order, you know, a healthy burger, or you're ordering even chicken and rice. Like, they're gonna put on 10 chicken breasts for everyone who's ordered that, and like spray them all in oil and batch cook them. Like, they don't give a shit. Oh no, Rob needs to keep his fat intake down. They're all going to be batch cooked. They'll cover them in sauce just because they don't care about your calories. They just want you to have a tasty meal. So you leave a good review and you come back. So it's like, even if when you go to like healthy cafes and restaurants, like, they just want to make it taste good as well. You know, there's loads of sauce and everything on it and stuff. And so, yeah, the easiest thing you could do is just cook all your own food. You know, and you'll save so much money. And it doesn't take much time. People love to use that excuse. It takes like 10 minutes.
I suppose once you start cooking all your own meals as well, you really get a handle on like what your body's consuming, how your body reacts to certain types of food. Yeah, all of this stuff.
Best thing to do, and then the most significant thing you can do as well is track accurately your calories and macros. So the best thing I ever did was just get a €10 food scales and download my fitness plan or my Fitness Pal game plan, whatever macro factor, like there's just a tracking app, and just track your macros, your calories extremely accurately for 2 weeks. Once you do that, you don't have to do it forever, just 2 weeks, and you will now know how much a fistful of rice is. You will know how much like a steak is in terms of protein and calories and everything. It's like learning to count. It's like learning to read. Like, how can you, if you never do that, how can you ever say there's 50 grams of protein in that? So it's like asking someone, how long is a piece of string?
Guys, over the last 5 years, you've watched me travel around the world building this podcasted in 9 countries with over 200 entrepreneurs. And one of the key things that I've learned is that every single one of these successful people have a playbook. They have a play-by-play of how they're going to operate their life, their mindset, and everything else, so they can scale. So they can scale their money, their business, their life, and everything. I want to break that down for you. So what I've done is I've set up a weekly email that's going to be going live week in, week out, giving you a play-by-play of some of the most top entrepreneurs in the world, so you can understand how they're executing on their plan, so you can execute on it too. If this is something that interests you, click the link, sign up to the email below, and that'll be coming out weekly.
Do you ever eat anything like protein bars, stuff like that?
Yeah, I have a protein bar like most days. Yeah, I love them. Yeah. So one thing as well, and people, it's a real big trend at the moment, is like animal based, and you see people eating like food off like a wooden board and like single ingredient foods, and that's like great. Like, it's a really good trend, you know, but it goes a little bit too far, and people think chemicals equals bad. Like, go look up the chemicals in an apple. It's like cyanide. Like, there's crazy ingredients
in an apple.
In an apple, yeah, because everything is chemical, right? You can put a funny illustration on the screen. I'll send you a picture of the chemicals in an apple. So just because something is a chemical doesn't automatically mean it's bad, and just because something is processed doesn't mean it's automatically bad. Like, a chicken breast in a plastic container in the shop is processed to some degree. Like, if you want to completely avoid food processing, go like kill a chicken and eat it with the feathers on it, you know? Like, food processing is actually good to a certain point, but then you don't want overly processed and adding in a lot of unnecessary ingredients and calories.
So if you cook your own food and do all your own prep and all that stuff, how often per week can you eat out? Once a week, or?
Well, yeah, you know, I can, at the moment, I'm eating out a lot because I've no kitchen. I'm just making smart choices and kind of sticking to like 2 large meals a day and tracking as accurately as I can. But I'm not making progress right now. I'm not getting leaner. You know, I'm just maintaining while I'm traveling.
This is one of the hardest things about traveling for me, right? Is the fact of, like, when I park myself in Australia for like even just 2 or 3 months, I slice up, dice up.
Yeah.
I'm cooking, right? Everywhere else on the road, I'm like carrying a little bit more fluff than what I want to.
Yeah.
Even Dubai, I'm like, I can't shift it, but I go to fresh air and beaches and nice location like Australia, and I just go, just drops off me, mate.
Yeah, so one thing I've noticed about Dubai is the food is super decadent. Like, it's really like, you know, baklava, like the salt base, sprinkling something on it. Like, the Emiratis, they love to really, like, put on a show and when they're bringing things out. So I found I always gain a couple of pounds here as well, and that just comes down to calories. You know, it's just the food here is just
like even when I order chicken here, like it's got oil on it.
Exactly,
it's got like, it's fucking hell.
Exactly, yeah.
Nothing's just like simple, is it?
No, but in terms of, to go back to the question, to master your nutrition, see results, stop eating out, learn how to cook, and track your calories and macros strictly for at least 2 weeks.
Or Rob's other information is get yourself a wife that does it for you.
Exactly. Oh man, that is Linda. She's a beast in the kitchen.
Yeah, Linda probably just wants to see you sliced and diced all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's one thing we always say to each other. We're like, never let each other get out of shape. Ever. Yeah. That's when the relationship goes.
Yeah.
That's when you just become that fat old couple that doesn't have sex.
Fucking hell, yeah. Because
let's be real.
That's another thing, you know. If you don't keep up your eating habits right, your test drops down no end.
Bro, like your energy levels, everything. Like it's not just about how you look. Like it's like even your brain. Like have you ever heard the term brain food? Like if you're not getting high quality fat intake, your hormones and your brain health, it all deteriorates.
I've spoken to a guy that owns Do Not Age today, and they're like
it's not Brian. Brian Johnson's Don't Die.
No, he's Don't Die. No. His name's Alan, and he owns Do Not Age. And I was talking to him about the supplements that I need to make my cellular age go backwards. He says everyone at the moment is talking about treating the external problems, this, that, and the other, and cooking and eating, all that's good. But he's saying that if you can reverse the age of your cells internally by taking things like NAD, NMM,
I take that,
and K3 and D3 and all this stuff that you're missing out on.
Yeah, so when you take vitamin D, you have to take it with vitamin K3,
otherwise you can't absorb it. Yeah.
This guy's good,
right? Yeah. That's why they put it together, right? That's why people are selling out. Selling supplements you can't absorb without the other supplement.
Exactly, yeah.
But there's shelves full of this stuff. You know what I mean? If you were to give like the 3 supplements or 4 supplements or supplement list that you absolutely everyone should take in your estimation, what would it be to you?
So you just named one there, vitamin D and K3. That's one I take. In omega supplement, like, you know, healthy fats, fish oil supplement, just make sure it's a high quality one, as there's some just really low quality ones on the market as well, and ones that don't have the correct ratio of fatty acids as well. Creatine is the GOAT. You know, you've heard about it for a reason, but now, so creatine is like the oldest supplement in the game, you know, like
cheap too.
Cheapest. But now there's a lot of new research coming out how it's got so many health benefits for our brain and our hormones and our psychology. So it's a wonder supplement, and it's extremely, extremely cheap. So creatine is right up there as well. And then in terms of one more, I would say magnesium glycinate before bed. Magnesium, a lot of us are just deficient in it, and it can also help with restful sleep, which is the foundation of everything. So they're the 4 that I would recommend.
And what time are you cutting off caffeine?
Oh, bro. So with me, it's just as early as possible. Whenever I work out, then after that, I'm done. And one thing, Joe, what I've like found made a huge difference, right? I love a Diet Coke Zero, right? They're absolutely fine to consume for the fucking aspartame sweetener warriors come out. They're absolutely fine. All of the evidence suggests they're fine. But if you're having a load of Coke Zeros with the caffeine in them, like if you have like, some people would have like 4 a day, that's like the equivalent of a can of Monster. So like 4 Coke Zeros is like 1 can of Monster, perhaps more. I think it's like, it could be like 75 milligrams of caffeine in 1 can. So if you're having that in the evening, it's going to mess up your sleep. So I cut off caffeine usually around like 10 a.m.
So just straight to water?
Yeah, water, just like just some 0-calorie drinks.
Do you notice that diet soda like holds on like water weight and stuff like that?
Nah, if it ever does, that's the sodium in it. Right. But that's it, yeah. Like, so when you're competing, and like if you have a coach, or if I'm coaching someone, that you cut diet soda out like a week before the show, but it's not because of like the flavorings in it, it's because of the sodium.
Yeah. Because I've noticed diet sodas make you want to eat more fatty foods as well.
That's not true. Well, maybe it is for you, but generally speaking, if you look at the research, they've got studies on this, and they actually help with cravings. and they make people eat less.
You think so?
No, there's Delph's link you some studies.
I'm trying to tell myself this, so I stop drinking it. You know what I mean?
Nah, they're fine. You know, I'm telling you.
Thing is with me, like if I have one Diet Coke, I have about 7 of them. You know, it's you can't.
Yeah.
There's no. I'm one of these addictive personality types, and I think the good thing that you do is that you have a couple of cans of Monster, but then cut it off at a certain time.
Yeah, but even still, like that's not ideal for sleep if your caffeine intake is like sky high, even if it is in the morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what is your caffeine intake per day?
So I try to keep it like 200 milligrams. So to put that in
one can.
Yeah, 1 can. Oh yeah,
brother.
Oh yeah,
I've been with you. Me and you.
I know
2 or 3 cans in a day.
I know. I said I try, and let me finish. But there's days where, like, many days where I'll have a coffee in the morning, an energy drink, and then also pre-workout, and that's getting up to 200 in the pre-workout, 200 in the can, and then maybe like 100 in the coffee. So that's half a gram a day, and I notice I'm more restless at night.
So out of a week, say a 7-day week, which is a fucking week, obviously. Already you start jumping in the comments. How many days are you hitting the 200 milligrams? Compared to the days when you go over, like how many days can you actually do your 200 milligrams?
Oh well, two definitely, and that recently I've been doing 1 day caffeine free a week.
Really?
Yeah, and do you know what? It's not that hard. It's all in your head. Do you know what I have in the morning? And I feel the exact fucking same.
Go on.
Electrolytes. Just a massive liter of water with electrolytes. You wake up in the morning and you think you need caffeine. You're just dehydrated. You have cold water with electrolytes, down it, a good liter off it, wait 5 minutes, and you're just feel the exact same. The reason, of me anyways, people feel so awake after a can of Monster, first of all, they'll drink half a liter of liquid, and so you're hydrating yourself. The caffeine doesn't even kick in for half an hour. So I found in the morning, I was just thirsty. So just smash electrolytes and water in the morning. You just feel grand.
How do we get, like, what are the right electrolytes to take though? Because there's so many brands out there that are pretty shit. What are the good ones?
Yeah, so I obviously take Ghost, sponsored by Ghost, but it's just about sodium, potassium, and just in the correct ratios and just high enough. But it's another cheap supplement, salt. It's literally salt. So it's another cheap supplement. So it's not like you don't have to break the bank buying like a special brand.
I love it. And we finished our last episode with this question, but I want to finish it with this question again because I think you're going to drop something completely different. Now you're a up-and-coming dad, like a married man now. But if there's one pearl of wisdom, one piece of advice that you could drop on this audience that will move them forward 1% from today, what would it be to you?
Whoa, that's a big one. Think of your future. A lot of people, they say, live in the moment, be present, and that's great advice as well. But if that's all you do, if you never make a game plan, you never plan for the future, you're going to have a rude awakening.
I love it, mate. I love it. And I appreciate you coming back on here to fill us in with everything going on. And that is just two lads having a chat on a Friday afternoon in Dubai.
That's it. We don't need alcohol or bottles or clubs. This is the buzz in Dubai.
No, but I just wanted to bring you in back on the podcast because I like to carry on people's journeys through as we go through this podcast journey. I like to see where people are at and check in with them. You know what I mean? And this is one of those episodes where I'm like, do you know what? I just want to sit down with Rob and have some banter, and have a bit of back and forth and tell some stories that we probably shouldn't fucking tell. Yeah,
I'll fill you in on a few of those things now.
And guys, do me a solid favour. Yeah, share this with all your friends. Put it in people's ears that need to hear it. This is a bit of a light-hearted one today, and I'm just gonna jump off the podcast right now and find out how Rob got fined 70 grand.
Peace.
Guys, I hope you got value from this podcast. And if you did, hit that subscribe button and turn the bell notifications on. But guys, I've got these videos here that will take you to a whole new level as well. So don't sleep on these.